Welcome back to Ravens Today. Please make sure to, again, keep subscribing to the channel, liking the videos. Let's dive into the latest news, all things Ravens I have for you. Okay, so first up, Rashard Bateman was asked by the media earlier, what's it like to have DeAndre Hopkins as a teammate, and he had nothing but praise for him. DeAndre Hopkins brings a lot of knowledge and value to the team, helping, him perfect his craft and Flowers as well. So this is great to hear from, Bateman, who had a career year last season and is only looking to learn even more. So, learning from one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. Mind you, Hopkins is 33, so the twilight years are upon us for him in the NFL, but he can still bring a lot of that knowledge that he has, years of it, to the Ravens wide receivers, and it's just great to see that Bateman is learning a lot from Hopkins and just providing all the praise he can to him. He also had mentioned that he wants to be able to flip the narrative on the Ravens wide receivers. He wants more wide receivers to come to the Ravens to understand the value of being a Baltimore Raven, the value of being thrown to by Lamar Jackson, and he just doesn't care about the validation of it. He wants fans, players, media, everyone to see that the Ravens wide receivers are valued here. The dynamic has definitely changed from years past. Under Greg Roman, the years where we're throwing to Seth Roberts, to Willie Snead. I'll even throw Marquise Brown's name in there. But, look how far we have come as a wide receiver core is what he is saying. We have what DeAndre Hopkins, say Flowers, guys looking for us to be traded, It's not something we've seen in a while, so if not at all. So this is, great to hear from Bateman telling us that, we want wide receivers here, and we want them to understand that they are definitely valued here. Moving on, just a quick one here. CJ Mosley announced his retirement from the NFL after 11 seasons. But here's the thing. He had talked with the Ravens first before making this retirement move, seeing if there was a deal they could come up with. Mind you, Mosley's been in the league a long time, and the Ravens don't really need a linebacker with Mosley's expertise at the moment. I mean, it would just be a depth piece per se, but again, there was some talks there from the Ravens and CJ Mosley to see if he wanted to do one more run with the Ravens. As we all know, CJ Mosley is the guy that picked off Baker Mayfield in that last game that prevented the Steelers from going into the playoffs. Always will appreciate him for that. But again, he is just too old, and I think the Ravens saw that and we're like, we're going to rely on our young blood, and we would like you here, but it wouldn't be for a starting position. It would be a rotational role, and you would probably retire after this. But Mosley said, you know what, I think I'm good, and then he just decided to call it a career. Happy retirement to CJ Mosley, and thank you for everything you brought to as a Baltimore Raven. Moving on, here's a weird one for everyone here. David Ajabo was recently mentioned as a possible trading candidate for the Baltimore Ravens. Sure, why not? I think that Ajabo's time is, unless something drastic happens, it's up as a Raven. I think that the Ravens could, trade him for Jalen Ramsey, Trayvon Diggs, something like. While our pass rush is still young, it still has the good value players in there. We have Calvin Noy, David Ajabo couldn't learn from Calvin Noy. His friend Adafe Owe learned a lot more and was able to progress a lot more under the tutelage of Calvin Noy. So, not to mention that Ajabo has suffered a lot of injuries throughout his time as a Raven, and it's just, I think it's time the Ravens should definitely pull the trigger on this if they can. Try to find a value and pick for him, or see if they can find something for David Ajabo. And I'd like to see a Jalen Ramsey become a Raven, because what can go wrong with more corners, and or Trayvon Diggs, or maybe another pass rusher. It's just, I feel like this type of trade will just, it helps the Ravens no matter where it goes, and David Ajabo was able to find new life in another team. But again, rumors are speculative, so we'll keep an eye on this and see what happens here. Moving on, the dates are set. So, Harbaugh went up to the podium and announced that July 15th, rookies will report for the training camp leading into the preseason. July 22nd, vets report. All right, like we're getting there. We're almost there, fans. Colts joint practice will be August 5th. Excuse me. Commanders joint practice will be the 21st. I expect there to be some, videos that surface from that joint practice with the Commanders, some tensions boiling over, or maybe a fight breaks out. I hope it does. Like, nobody, obviously, I don't hope nobody gets injured in this scuffle that could happen, but I think it's, two teams who are both in Maryland, battle for the Beltway type of situation. They only get to face each other so often, so expect some tensions to boil over there. So super excited to see that, we're getting there. We're all we have a break period from now until July 15th when the rookies report. So we're getting closer and closer to regular season, and let's just keep the ball rolling here. I just am really looking forward to seeing our team come back in full form, and consecutively in full form, by the way, where we get to see weeks of practices, and we get to see those joint practices, see how the team is during those joint practices against opposing teams instead of themselves. So we'll have to wait and see. Thank you for tuning into Ravens Today. I'm your host, Connor Gioffreda. Again, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video. I will catch you all later.